How's it going, guys? My name's Nathan. I've decided I'm going to go ahead and record my golf rounds just to hold myself more accountable and really try to get out and golf more. So the goal of this, vlog would be getting down from a 7 handicap to a scratch. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the ride, and let's get it. First hole here at Burnaby Mountain. It's par 5. I was hitting a fade on the range, which is not my normal shot shape, but tried it here. It worked out nicely, just a little low one on the face. On the second shot into the par 5 here, I have about 200 yards with a 4-iron. Again, just trying to hit a little bit of a cut, which turned out very well on this one. So we have a 40-footer here for eagle, and just been struggling with my putting over the last, about 6 months here. So it was nice to knock one up close for a nice birdie here to start. Second hole here at Burnaby is a short par 4, so hitting driver and setting up for a fade. Unfortunately, just got a little bit quick on this one, so we ended up on the trees there on the left. In the trees here, and hit a nice recovery here with a 6-iron up to green side. And then on this chip shot here, it was a really tough lie. They had just done some aeration on the course, so really wanted to make sure I just got it on the green for about a 10-footer, 20-footer for par, and executed that nicely here. Par 5 here, third hole, fairly reachable, but unfortunately I just got a little bit quick here on my drive. Okay, so we have just the perfect yardage in, about 100 yards. We have a nice little gap wedge, and unfortunately just didn't really feel that comfortable over it, and was in a perfect scoring condition and just absolutely bladed it. So luckily we found the golf ball and then chipped it to about 10 feet here for par. And again, just been really struggling with the putter, so trying to just swing the shoulders back and forth. Unfortunately missed it, so in for a bogey. So we have a short par 4 here. I believe this was an 8-iron, and just been struggling, losing a lot of shots right. I was fighting a draw, now I'm fighting a cut, so short right here. And now for the up and down, hit a pretty decent chip shot out of a pretty thick lie here, up to about 5 feet. Now about 5 feet here for par, and again, just trying to keep the head down, rock the shoulders, and we put a pretty good stroke on it this time. Longer par 3 here up the hill. As you guessed it, missed it right, so just looks like I'm coming out of my swing a bit here, so going to keep an eye on it throughout the rest of the video here. And really trying to just play a simple little pitch here with a pitching wedge. Hadn't really practiced this shot too much, so it wasn't the most comfortable, and just kind of experimenting around with it, only up to about 15 feet here. And then on the putt, again, really the main focus of the round, just rocking the shoulders, trying to get the weight down, and then put a good stroke on it, but unfortunately couldn't make this one. Had about 40 feet for birdie here, and as you can tell, the theme of the round, just lag it up close for par. And yeah, hit a decent lag putt here. And for most of my pretty decent rounds, I'm making all of these, 5-6 footers, and put a nice stroke on this one, so in for a good 2-putt. And I think on this hole, it's a little bit longer of a par 4. It's wet. I was trying to get a bit aggressive, but honestly, with a quick swing today, hitting it left, probably should have been a fairway wood looking back on it now. As you can see here, just getting a little bit more comfortable on the greens, and I know this is for bogey, but these are always really big putts to make, keeping it just to a bogey. So yeah, felt good to drain this one. And finally starting to dial in the driver here, put a nice draw swing on this, and yeah, hit it about to 70 yards in, and that's really in my wheelhouse here. So hit a nice drive and then wedge. I think this hole really sets up well when I'm usually hitting my draw shot. And then for a birdie here, up to about 10 feet and just rams it by. But thankfully, we went ahead and rolled in the putt. Big wide open fairway here on 11, so driver and just caught it beautifully. Slowly starting to dial it in nicely here. And then second shot, really losing it left. So I think on this one it was just keeping it a little bit too open, trying to hit a big old cut and just overplayed it. And then this was just missed. I couldn't record my chip shot. This was for par, and luckily made the nice 5-footer. Not much to do on this hole besides an iron. Can't really go for the green because I can't get there because it's really wet out. So just aimed it right at the 150 and try to get as close to it as possible. Nice little tip there if you're ever laying up. Make sure you aim for a target. I used to always just aim into the middle of the fairway without a target and just shoot it everywhere. Now, second shot here, hit a nice one to about 20 feet within, I believe it was 9-iron. And then nice go at it here, but left myself about 4 feet. And after a while, you're eventually going to miss one of these, and lo and behold, voila. Unfortunate, 3-whack for bogey. This was probably the best swing of the day overall, if I had to say, but just aimed it left side with a nice little cut, high cut in there, and just worked out perfectly. And then about 15 feet for a birdie, and probably after hitting the best shot of the day, probably about the worst putt of the day. Left it about 3 feet short, which you never want to do, and in for a par. So this is actually my first time playing 14 onward. Usually we'd play at night and only get in like maximum 12 or 13 holes. So hooked it a bit left here on the dog leg and then tried hitting a hero shot around the tree, which left me about, I think, 60 or 70 yards into the green after this kind of a chunk hook. And then hit a really nice wedge shot, which got a bit unlucky to bounce so much, but been feeling really good about my wedge game from like 100 yards in. And yeah, I hit a decent one here, and then unfortunately, longer putt for a par, which just flew past the hole. And then, again, just leaving myself a bunch of work on these long ones. So, luckily enough, in for a 2-putt bogey. Another long par 3 up the hill here, and going with the cut again because that was kind of my go-to shot for the day. And hit a really, really good one, and actually hit it almost too good and ended up on the back of the green. This was probably the gnarliest putt. It doesn't really show it here, but it's like a huge 30-foot swinging putt down the hill, and as you can see, it just went past the hole really fast. So set up kind of a nasty next step here. And after making so many nice putts, just didn't hit it very good here, and then just botched this one. Really fun drive here, probably calling for about a 20 to 30 yard cut around the trees to really cut off the corner, and caught it super nice and left myself about 260 in, 270 in probably, and actually tried to go for it, but in hindsight, maybe not the best play because it left myself an awkward chip shot. And then here, yeah, about 60 yards, kind of hit a chunk and run a little bit. Got pretty lucky on this one, and it worked out nicely to about 10 feet. And as you can tell, starting to kind of lose it here. Slowly dialing in the driver, hit a really nice one here. It's a dogleg right around the corner, par 4, and set up a really nice distance for our second. We have about 60 to 70 yards here. Hitting my wedges really nicely right now. No real mistakes besides, I guess, what was it, the third hole today? So. Then for the putt for a birdie, haven't made one since the first hole, I think, and we're in.